A glimpse into the future, or just a glitch in the matrix? Let's jump down into the world of XRP. We're going to be reviewing the technical analysis on the 1 hour, the 1 day, the weekly stuff. We'll be jumping into the news all around $50 XRP. And we'll be taking a look at some on-chain data as well as some exchanges and trades and things like that. So as we get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe? Tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out. The link is in the description below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check it out? Let's jump right down into this one, right? And let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below about $50 XRP. Interested to kind of see what people think about that. Let's jump down into the 1 hour time frame. So XRP paired up with USDT. This is the BitGet spot exchange. We hit our target range. So we were looking for a move down into this range here between 61.4 and 62.6. So we came down here briefly yesterday morning. We looked for this little move back in, double tap it, and then we moved on out. This isn't anything unusual. This looks like we have kind of just completed our usual kind of pattern. So as we were kind of talking about yesterday, it looks like we did everything that we needed to do. Nothing terribly too unusual, and we kind of hit targets as expected. So we moved back up briefly above the 50 EMA. We're moving back down right now. I expect a bounce upwards because I do not think we are done just yet. So taking a look at this, we've got a couple of options. I think for the most part, we're probably going to be looking at targeting out the 200 EMA at 64.496, or maybe even just wicking slightly higher than that. So let's go ahead and reflect on what that looks like right now. So let's go into this, right? So as we can see, we had this move up. We have this correction here, of which it can still come down a little bit deeper. It doesn't look like it's done. Let's take it to a 15-minute there. So you can see here that our 3-wave pattern hasn't yet finished. So here's the first wave up here to the to the 200 EMA and then down. So we're looking at 62.642 if I can talk today. And a 3-wave pattern. Our minimum expectations have already been met, so there's no guarantees that we move down a little bit deeper here, but something that we have to kind of consider as a possibility, right? No guarantees. I want to stress that right now. Minimum expectations have already been met, which means a break to the upside is something that we need to kind of consider, right? And this is an entire structure. We take it to the existing low, even though it might come down a little bit lower. I'm just going to note that 64.765 is going to be the area of interest for now, but I will also pull this down just towards our 786 because I also think that's going to be an interesting zone for us as well. Okay, so essentially I think 64.418 to 64.764, considering we might still need to come down a little bit further as well. Okay, this area of the 200 EMA would then make me think that this is a 3-wave pattern like this. Okay, this of which would actually then mean that we probably have to come down a bit more after, but for now, you know, I'm not too concerned about these smaller movements on the hourly chart. I think ultimately we're in a pretty good position on some of the larger time frames, so I'm not too concerned about this one at the moment. But yeah, so that's kind of where I think the hourly sits. I think we'll leave it there for now. We'll see how things unfold. I'm not expecting us to wick down or come down lower than 62.442. So we can trade this one if we wanted to. I'll talk about that later. So let's take this up into the daily time frame. Okay, on the daily time frame, you see that we're looking for this X wave move before we come on down, and I think that's essentially what we're kind of looking for here. We're looking for this break upwards. So we can see here on the daily time frame, we found brief support at the 50 EMA at the moment. That's great, and we can expect some of that smaller volatility on the volatility on the smaller time frames, like the hourly that we're just talking about. But ultimately here, we'll be looking for this move up before we can finish off this X wave. I don't think the X wave is done yet. Obviously, our expectations are to be between 66.873 and 70.197. Typically, we would aim more towards this yellow box here at 69 to 71, but I'm not too confident on that at this point in time. I will be interested to see if we can push up into that range, and that's where I think we should end up. I don't think that we have the momentum to support that, considering the bearishness of like Bitcoin right now. So as much as we want that, I'm not so convinced. We'll see how it unfolds. But ultimately, we're looking for a break upwards. I'd be happy if we can get above 66.8, closer to 70, even better. But for now, that's kind of where that sits. And then we break down into our low range between between 53 and 58 cent. Okay, that will then actually mark the end of this WXYXZ structure. Hopefully find support on that 200 EMA. And we're done. Now, because this is the daily time frame, this essentially is something that's going to take weeks, potentially months to play out. Okay, so it's not going to be quick. I mean, it can be. I just wouldn't expect it to be. Okay, so it can be quick. I just wouldn't expect it to be quick. But for the most part, I would expect it to follow good structure with profit being taken, traders coming in and out of the space multiple times over, and we'll see profits getting taken a fair amount of times. So I imagine it's going to be weeks into months before we actually see this come down into the range of 53 to 58 cent. But that's kind of where I think we're going to see the next big move upwards. Okay, which then brings me on to the weekly time frame, because this is just a nice healthy correction in that journey. Okay, so you can see here we're just moving back down. We'll come back down into this previous area of support, or previous support gone to resistance. We want to turn it into support again. So around that 53 cent. And if I draw a yellow box area on here, guys, you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about within this range of right here. And I'm going to put it on the high right there, just drag it across here and across here. So previous support broken, became resistance, became resistance, became resistance. We broke it. We're looking to turn it into support. This actual range is 52 on the low side and 58 on the high side. I think it's more going to be 53 than that, but for now, that's kind of where it sits. If I pull it up to about here, it's about 53 and so forth, right? But if we take these positions of these particular candles, then we end up at the 52 area. But ultimately, that's kind of where it sits. I think this is where the support levels are, okay? And all we're really doing is just working our way down there nice and gradually and slowly, right? It's nothing too much to it. It's not overly complicated or anything like that. I just think that essentially we've got to respect the patterns of data and all that kind of stuff. So let's move that on, in fact, into the world of data. Where we come on over into the membership.𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗧𝗧. Links for this is in the description below, where you can sign up and become a member. We've got so much to offer for members, and there's a whole different sections of tiers, depending on what it is that you're looking to kind of achieve from the crypto space. So we have everything from the basic level, which is basically a private Discord, exclusive chat rooms, AMAs with Chris and myself twice weekly, exclusive videos, exclusive technical analysis. Then there's things that we do for our members from alert point of view. So this is all of that I previously mentioned, including what the team are buying and selling, whale alerts, exchange listing alerts, coin alerts, accumulation zones, and sell and target zones and things like that as well, right? And then of course we have traders. Traders, they get access to technical analysis on request on the 1 hour, 4 hour daily timeframes, trading ideas that is generated from the technical analysis that is requested, traders chat rooms and members charting areas, all the way through to everything exclusive of the course material and the data. And then of course absolutely access to everything, which is all the alerts, all the trading ideas, educational courses, Elliott Wave theory, smart money concepts, and of course what we're here to talk about today, which is the data zone and the XRP on-chain data, which is this one. Okay, so the on-chain data for XRP, we can take a look at the overview. For example, this shows you 52.7 billion XRP tokens in circulating supply, the all-time high, the days from the all-time high, the percentage down from the all-time high, through to the average gas fees, the total gas fees paid in XRP, and the gas fees paid in dollars, the amount of transactions, which is 1,116,060 transactions at a cost of a staggering $1,673. Divide those two things together, the average cost is 0.0023 XRP per transaction. And it's absolutely astonishing. The average value of a transaction is $3,255. XRP delivers on what it is designed to do, essentially move money in the most efficient way possible, right? It is incredibly cheap and it is incredibly fast, and it does exactly what you need it to do, right? XRP is testament to what this technology can do, right? Outside of some of these other protocols, even like Cardano, that's incredibly cheap as well and very fast, we can still see that actually it's more expensive than XRP, right? And so when it comes to XRP, we have to really acknowledge that actually, yeah, it's fit for purpose. It does exactly what you need it to do, right? From a liquidation standpoint, it's $1.2 million of liquidations. Bybit is the exchange with the most amount of liquidations. That is followed by OKX, then Binance, and Huobi is at the bottom of there. Ultimately, it's pretty balanced between shorts and longs getting liquidated, 48% long, 51% short. And yeah, for the most part, nothing terribly too much more to it. Taking a look at the wallet count data, we know that there's accumulation happening here. And we debunked yesterday the idea that the whales were dumping 100 million tokens on the market, because I cannot see it here, unless, of course, it was on an exchange wholly and nowhere else. But for the most part, we can see that there's accumulation happening across the board. And so wallet count data is actually giving us some pretty good, encouraging metrics here to kind of give us confidence in the future price appreciation and the future of XRP if it's being backed by some really large players. Which brings me on to $50 XRP. So XRP briefly hits $50 on Gemini as users suspect a relisting price glitch. Now, is it a glimpse into the future? Is XRP going to be going to $50? Is it a glitch in the matrix? When we're seeing a parallel universe maybe of what is actually going on. Obviously, I jest. I'm just using buzzwords that have been out and about in the social medias with all the ETs and stuff like that that's going on at the moment. But for the most part, it briefly hit $50 on Gemini, and it could just be that it's a relisting glitch, and price oracles aren't quite aligned to where they need to be. It'd be a little bit unusual for that, because if it's just relisting, you already had all the infrastructure in place when it was listed previously. So I don't know really what's gone into there. I haven't really read into the article immensely, but I think it's quite an interesting thing to kind of see going on there when it comes to XRP hitting these levels. Now, I think $50 is a pretty ambitious price target. It's not something that I think is likely to happen easily. It's something that would have to have multiple different things occur in order to kind of get there. But nonetheless, I think it's a fantastic thing that could happen in the future. And I aspire to kind of see $50 XRP. I think it's something that is actually quite reasonable in the long term. So let me know what your thoughts are on that. Do you think we're going to be hitting that sooner rather than later? Or do you think it's something that is actually going to take a little bit longer to kind of come out and so forth? Let me know in the comments below. And then moving on to exchanges, because it kind of guess this is news around exchanges when it comes to the Gemini aspect of things. Ultimately, I think it's important that we have access to as many exchanges as possible, which is why I talk heavily about BitGet. BitGet is my go-to platform. I use it for 90 to 95% of my spot buys, and 100% of my leverage trades are done on BitGet. We can buy XRP on spot using BitGet. So if you haven't done so already, why not sign up to BitGet using the affiliate link in the description below? If you do use that link, there are up to $8,000 of rewards depending on how much you trade and deposit to the platform. And again, like I say, it's important that we have access to as many exchanges as possible, because in a bull market, you just do not know what exchanges are going to be live, which you can log on to, which ones you can use. And also, when you sign up to these platforms, make sure you test them out thoroughly. Make sure you know how to onboard, how to take money off, how your inflows and outflows work, whether you need to be KYC, whether you can do it without KYC. You need to work out all these things. Make sure you're familiar with the networks. Ultimately, I found that BitGet is a really easy to use and intuitive platform, which is why it's my go-to platform. With other exchanges like Coinbase, Binance, Bybit, Gate.io, KuCoin, Crypto.com, etc. are my secondaries. These are the ones I go to if I can't get what I want from BitGet. But check it out, guys. All the links are in the description below. I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. Moving on into the trades section, because we have seen some interesting trades recently from our members. They've been crushing it. Over the last few days, it's been a little bit on the quiet side, but for the most part, it's been not too bad. Now, from a trading point of view, if I go ahead and actually bring up our trading view here, what we can do is we can take a look at XRP. And what would I be looking for? I'd be looking for a long position into this area. Okay, so what we want to do is we kind of want to go long, and we want a nice stop loss below that 62.44. And then we want to make sure that we have pretty much the 200 EMA as our resistance. And here you can see it's a good risk reward ratio of 1.82. If I was to trade XRP, this would be the trade of the day, I think, because I do not think we're likely to break this low. I think 62.442 is going to hold, and I think our target range up here between 64.418 and 64.764 is the area to kind of be targeting out for. So I think an XRP long would be pretty reasonable. Once we come up into this range, I would expect to reverse this. I would expect want us to put a stop loss, above this area of rejection, and take a profit would have to be lower than 62.442. We'll probably give that a bit of berth there to make sure that we have a good risk reward ratio, whilst making sure we protect our positions. So I think we can go long, then we can go short, but we'll talk more about the short position opportunities at a later date, because I do think the next opportunity here is a long position on XRP to go slightly higher in the price action and the price chart. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below, but I think I'm going to wrap this video up right there. If you have found this useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what you're doing, check it out, linked in the description below. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Until the next one though, guys, have a fantastic day.